Hey, Brian from Kickbox here. I'm recording a video to walk step by step through the process of using the HubSpot workflows function using custom coded workflows with the Kickbox real-time email verification API. Use case for this is making sure that that you have data on the quality of the email addresses that are entering HubSpot. You could use this to automate the process of verifying instead of having to verify lists and then upload them back and forth between Kickbox and HubSpot. Some prerequisites for this: you will need a HubSpot Operations Pro account that will allow you to use custom code in your workflows. And you'll also need a Kickbox account, which is free. So if you don't have a Kickbox account yet, be sure to go to kickbox.com and sign up there. So let's get into the process. What we're going to need to do first is to create the custom properties within HubSpot so that the verification data will be stored in your HubSpot account here. So we'll navigate to settings, and under data management, we will select properties. And what we're going to do first is we're going to create a group for our Kickbox data. So we'll click on the Groups tab and we'll create a group, and we can name it whatever we want. So we can name it, for example, Kickbox Info or Kickbox Information or Kickbox Results, whatever you prefer. We'll save that and we'll find it. Here's Kickbox Info, and we'll view properties, and we'll start creating our properties. So what we need to do from here is create the properties that Kickbox will return. So we'll start with the first one. We'll give it a label. We'll say it is disposable address. We'll keep the object type as contact, and we'll make sure that it's under our Kickbox group. We don't need a description. Under field type, this is important. We need to choose a single checkbox for this data point. And we can go ahead and create that one. And we're going to do this for several others. So we'll create property. We'll do this again, but this time for, let's call it free address. Keep the object type as contact. That's the same for all of these, really. We'll find our group, box info, and then the field type will again be a single checkbox. We'll create that one. Next, we'll create another property for role. We'll call it role address, and then find our Kickbox group. Under field type, again, single checkbox. We'll go ahead and create that. Next, let's create a property for the Sendex score. So this is a quality score that Kickbox returns from 0 to 1. That gives you an idea of the quality, the overall quality and deliverability of the email address. We'll again find our group, Kickbox info. Under field type this time, we are going to select number, and we're going to select unformatted number for the Sendex score. We're going to create it. All right, next we're going to create another property. This time we're going to call it, let's say, validation result. And we're going to choose our Kickbox group. Under field type, this time we're going to choose drop down select. And here we're going to put several options. So for the first one, we will call it deliverable. Right, these are the results that you can get from Kickbox. As we're doing this, we need to make sure to have the internal name as as lowercase, right? That's very important. So we'll do this for deliverable. The other result is undeliverable. And again, we'll make sure that this is lowercase for the internal name. Next is risky. Lowercase risky here on the internal name. And then lastly, unknown. Lowercase unknown here. And we'll go ahead and create that property. All right, last property here is going to be the reason, right? So we'll call this validation reason. Find our Kickbox group. And again, for this one, we will do drop down select. All right, we got quite a few potential reasons that we're going to put here. These are basically kicking out all of these reasons that are that can be found here on the API docs, right? And the descriptions of them are here. But yeah, this is going to take a minute. We're just going to go through here and complete all these. So first one, whoops, invalid email. And as we're going through these, it's very important, again, to make sure that they're lowercase and that we're using underscores instead of spaces. So lowercase and no spaces. So let's go through all of these here. Next one is invalid domain. Rejected email. You'll finish up here. Expected error. Okay, so we have all the reasons made in this property, so we'll go ahead and create it. So all of our properties are in the Kickbox group here that we just created. So now we're ready to put these into our custom coded workflow. So what we're going to do is go to automations and workflows. We're going to click create workflow and let's select from scratch. We're going to do a contact-based workflow here, a blank one. We'll go ahead and hit next. And the first thing we're going to do is define the trigger of how contacts are going to enter this workflow. For the purpose of this demonstration, let's assume that we're going to verify every contact that comes in from every source, really from anywhere, going into our HubSpot account. So I'm going to click Setup Triggers, and I'm going to click when a filter criteria is met. Then I'm going to select Contact Properties. And let's say in this case, let's say, what is it, create? Yeah, let's say create date just is known. So anytime somebody comes in, and we can go ahead and save that. So our trigger criteria is, or our enrollment criteria is defined. Next, what we're going to do is create the custom code. So we're going to click the plus button here to add a step. And we're going to, let's see, can I move myself? There we go. We're going to click data ops and then custom code. We're going to leave this default language, Node.js 20 selected. What we need to do next is to define our secret. So this is where our Kickbox API comes into play. So, whoops. So what we're going to do here is under secret, we're going to choose a secret and we're going to add a secret. And what this does is it protects your Kickbox API secret key. Keeps it secret, right? So that it can't be seen in the code. So What we're going to do is name our secret. So, you can put any name that you want here. The secret name is actually very important, so make sure that it's something that's easy. I would just recommend something like Kickbox API or something like that with no spaces, because this actually needs to be defined in the code later on. And your secret value will actually be your secret API key, right? So within your HubSpot account, within your Kickbox account rather, under API keys, you'll click Manage Keys. Let's see if I go back to my verification dashboard here. Under API, you'll click Manage Keys, and then you'll click Create API Key. When you do that, make sure that you have single email address selected, right? You'll name your API key here. This is separate from the name of your HubSpot API key. You can name it whatever you want, but after you create that, make sure that you copy the secret key here. I won't show the secret keys for the purpose of this demo, but whenever you create that, make sure you paste that as the secret value in HubSpot. So once that's done, you can see here I have some demo API set up. You'll go ahead and select your key once it's set up. Next, we'll move on to the property to include in code. And then let's just go straight to the select a property field here, and we're going to search for email. We'll select email, and then we'll see lowercase email is automatically populated here. Let's go ahead and leave that there. Now we're going to copy and paste some custom code. So we can find this custom code on our docs page in this section here. So we'll go ahead and scroll down to the part with the code block, and we'll copy it. We'll go back to our workflow, and we will paste it here. Next, we need to edit it. We need to edit the code on one line, really, to make sure that it matches the name of our newly set up secret. So in this case, the name of my secret is Kickbox API, and I need to keep in mind the cases here, right? Kickbox is uppercase and API is uppercase. So I need to make sure that matches when I go down to this line here. Here it's line 19. And I'm going to replace the name of this section here, name of API, with the literal name of my secret up there. So it was called Kickbox API, right? Again, I'm keeping in mind the cases here. So the case needs to match. So next, we'll scroll down here and look at the data outputs. So from here, we're going to add some data outputs and make sure that those are defined here. So we'll go through and add some outputs. So the first one is going to be it's going to be disposable, and that's Boolean, just basically a yes or no value. So let's say disposable will be the first one. Again, let's choose Boolean for free. Type in free here, add another output for, again, Boolean for role. Next, let's choose number for the Sendex. All right, here's where it gets fun. We will choose enumeration. Let's put result here. And then here we're going to put the enumeration options. So results, there are 4 of them. We will type in deliverable, tab, undeliverable, risky, and lastly unknown. Okay, that was the result. Now we're going to do the same thing, but for reason. So we're going to select data type enumeration and reason. And this is where we have a lot of options. So we're going to click enumeration options, and we're going to have to type these in. So pay attention here. Make sure that you are putting these in with lowercase and no spaces, right? We're using underscore just like we did before. It needs to match how we input the data when we created this property before. So we're going to go with accepted email, valid domain, invalid email, invalid SMTP, low deliverability, all of these properties that are in the Kickbox docs here, we're going to put. So low quality, no connect is next. It's rejected email, make sure I'm typing this incorrectly. Timeout SMTP, unavailable SMTP, and lastly, unexpected error. I think that's all of them. Okay, we've put all these in. Now it's time to test the workflow. So we'll click test action, and I'm gonna select a contact to test with. All right, so I've selected a test email, and I'm gonna go ahead and test it. And I will click test when it, after it shows me that warning there. All right, so it looks like it worked, and we can see the results here. Great. So now that we've gotten the, I'll go ahead and click save here. Now that we've gotten the custom code to work and it's kicked out our results, now what we need to do is copy those properties over that in the results that Kickbox produced over to our actual contact. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy those properties one by one in individual steps. So we'll click the add step button, and now we're going to go to CRM. We're going to click edit record. We're going to keep contact current object under target object, and we're going to go through each of the Kickbox properties that we created to copy those properties over. So what we're going to do first is search for disposable. So I'll find disposable address, and then I will click this drop down under disposable address, and I'm going to click add data variable. And then under that, I'm going to click this drop down here, and instead of enrolled contact, I'm going to choose action outputs here. And then you can see that we have our results here. So what we're going to do is basically map each respective property. So we're choosing disposable address, we're going to choose disposable, and then we'll save it. And we're going to do that for each of our properties. So next up is role address. So we're going to choose CRM, edit record, and we're going to find role address. Okay. And then under role address, we're going to click add data variable from this drop down. Going to choose action outputs, and we're going to find role here. We can see it. We're going to select that and then save. Next up is reason. So let's copy that one over under CRM, edit record. Validation reason. We're going to add data variable. We're going to choose action outputs. And we're going to find reason and select reason. Great. All right, next we're going to copy over result. So click CRM, edit record. We'll find result, validation result. And in this case, we'll add data variable. Instead of enrolled contacts, we'll click action outputs. And we can see result here. We'll click that and map it and save it. Next is reason. So under CRM, we will click edit record. We will find validation reason, add data variable, action outputs, and map it to reason. And the last property will be the Sendex score. So we will add a step, CRM, edit record. We will find Sendex score, action outputs, and here's the Sendex. We'll map that and save. And while we're here, we might as well give our workflow a name. So let's call this Kickbox API demo. Okay, that's the basics of how to set up your workflow and how to copy the Kickbox results over to your HubSpot contacts properties. What we can do from here is to test it. So we can click the test button here. We can choose a contact. We can test it and confirm that everything is working. There's a lot of things that you can do from here, right? This is just the basics to copy all of these properties over to all of your contacts, but there's many different use cases that you can create a flexible workflow for, whether or not you want to reject or accept certain emails, or automatically put them into dynamic lists. There's a lot of things that you can do, but either way, I hope that this helped. If you have any questions, please contact us at help@kickbox.com. Thanks.